for the inconvenience.
It's inevitable. Eagles 102.3.
From Milky Way to Earth, where there's internet, you can connect with Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Log on to our website www.eaglesfm.com. Follow and engage with us now on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok at Eagles FM Abuja, Instagram at Eagles FM 1023. Download our apps on your Android and iOS stores. Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, your radio experience you can count on.
All right, 20 minutes gone past the hour of 10, still on the AM side. This beautiful Friday morning. Yes, thank God it's Friday. The weekend is finally here. How excited are you about the weekend? I know a number of people will still have to go to work tomorrow and even next. So your weekend is usually even at work, but whatever it is weekend, all right? Where you're expected to be less serious as opposed to you being all serious, you know, from Monday up until Sunday. How is that even possible? People who do that, how do you do it? Anyway, that's certainly not for me. My name is Omo Efe Peace or Semere. You can always call me Efe for short, and this is the General Open Banter. I've got my co-host and co-discussant in the studio, the only sports minister on radio. Call him Double Vic, or Double V rather, or Vicky Vic. You can even call him Ijoma Victor.
I think you just got that one.
Yeah, I heard that yesterday when you signed out of Sports Rumble. Yes. Ijoma Victor said, "Oh, okay. Wow, we're not working with the VV today." How are you doing today, by the way?
I'm good.
Happy weekend.
Yes, same here. We should say.
What are your plans for the weekend?
For now, no plan. Still looking ahead.
Nigerian men, you don't always have plans for the weekend.
A lot for the weekend. We just have to leave it that way. When it comes, we'll take it that way.
Okay.
And as for the name, when you give up sports updates, you have to look at it, go official.
Yeah.
And then once you're doing the playful aspect of it, then we now go with the Double V, Vicky Vic, and the Sport Minister on radio.
All right. So on the General Open Banter today, dear listener, we have something very interesting to talk about, and I'd like to throw a question, to the listener on the other side of the radio. Do you patronize made in Nigeria products? And if you do, how often do you patronize made in Nigeria products or made in Nigeria goods? I think personally that there is this attitude that Nigerians actually have, towards these goods that are actually made or manufactured locally. They think that it is substandard, even though some people have actually bought, substandard, made in Nigeria products, and that's because of the get rich quick syndrome, I believe, right? But regardless, there are vendors, there are manufacturers, there are people, and this is like a craft for them, and they really know their onion, when in terms of duplicating or replicating whatever it is that is made outside the shores of Nigeria. It might not really be up to that standard, but at least the willingness, that effort to put in the work is something that is really, really commendable. Just yesterday, I saw a story where federal government, lamented the low patronage of made in Nigeria products. And I don't know, the first thing that came to mind, was where exactly do we go from here as Nigerians? Why are we so quick to patronize goods made in Italy, made in China, Vietnam, and what have you? But when it comes to made in Nigeria, I think we should even take the lead by, first of all, looking at ourselves in the studios. I'm looking at you right now, Mr. Vic. This shirt you're wearing is certainly not made in Nigeria. The pants you're wearing may be made in Nigeria. Your footwear's not made in Nigeria. I'm very sure of that. Why is that? You don't believe in, Nigerian goods, made in Nigerian goods?
Well, I wouldn't say I don't believe in made in Nigerian goods, but it all boils down to our attitude towards things that are being produced here in Nigeria. Now, let's look at the federal government with the headlines you just buttressed. Do they patronize made in Nigerian goods? Because
the federal government?
The federal government, yes, is okay for anyone to do Nigerian goods, then definitely you can go into it. Now, people don't patronize made in Nigerian goods because they feel that it is substandard with what they have out there. And we see people who put in effort, but it doesn't get this made product here in Nigeria. Because if you put an enabling environment to do a good thing, everybody wants to go for it. While I still insist is the government, is because those that we have at home here, let's take for instance the textile industry we have in Kaduna. Is it still functioning? Because if you put the enabling environment, people want to make sure they stay at home and patronize what we have made in Nigeria. Here in Nigeria. When the National Assembly came on board almost 2 years ago, or thereabout, they had to they need vehicles for them to, make sure they work very well. Did they patronize the assembly plant we have here in Nigeria? The one in Lagos or the one in the East? I don't want to call names. Did they patronize it? No, they did not. Rather, they went out there. They got a middleman who got somebody out there and they brought these cars in. All these things that we are doing affected the economy. Affected the economy badly and grossly. So that's why you see me, I'm putting everything in the hands of the government. Because if there is power, people want to patronize the goods here you have because one, there's power, things are being done well. Let me tell you another thing again. There was a time many years ago, I wanted to get this CD before the normal phone comes in, the compact disc. When you go to local market like Nyanya to buy this CD, they will sell this 100 naira, 150. But when you come to town to buy it, the price is up there. And you ask them, okay, why your price be like this now? He will tell you, this is what Nigerians want. This is what Nigerians want. Now, most Nigerians cannot afford the boutique that to a point they go do bend down select. And the bend down select that they are doing is also imported. So there are so many things that is that we cannot explain. So many fingers pointing at so many angles for us to work with. Okay. Now, if you look at the shoe that I'm wearing, if you go to bend down select, you will get it cheaper because they've imported them. But meanwhile, once you start patronizing those that are made in Nigeria, one, they will not have that quality. They will not have that quality. Even if it is jersey, there are some jerseys that you go and buy there in the local market. Right. But once you import, you put them in, you cannot compare them.
Okay, let me quickly jump in. And by the way, it is no longer called Bend Down Select. They've actually packaged it now.
They package it now because
they don't have thrift stores.
Good.
Do you understand? So you don't really have to go there and bend down to select.
Let me also tell you. You can
actually stand and select.
Let me also tell you that before you go to do the bend down select, there is, before they open the bale, if I'll use that one, there are some people who will come and pick the best of the best of the best. Most of those best of the best, they put them in the boutique for you to come and see.
Okay.
Now, sorry for allow you again.
It's a business strategy, Mr. Vic.
Yes, it's a business. Okay, look at what NAFDAC is doing. When people tend to adulterate the wine, the soft drinks that we have, they see that this business is moving, but they end up going to adultery. We see how the clamp down is even going on, even here in the suburb. They clamped a place where they were putting this particular beer, I don't want to call the name, in a container here in the suburb. NAFTA clamped down on them. I don't want to even go to the east.
No, but at the end of the day, I'm sorry to butt you now again. This is not even the point I wanted to make earlier, but I will revert to that. Clamping down on these people, I'm not trying to justify the fact that some people have actually taken it upon themselves to mix, chemicals just to produce, substandard drinks. After all, it's going to be harmful to our health. But it just shows something. The potential is there. After clamping down on these people, why not, call them, take them in, and just try to explore that, wealth of experience that they have.
That is
maybe refine it.
That is if the product is good. because they mix all kind of things to get that product. They can see to it, taste it. If it's okay, if it's not harmful, then you encourage them. Take for instance the refinery. Before the commencement of Dangote refinery, and those ones that are coming up, they were local refineries. Were they encouraged? Rather, they were scattered up and down because they felt that it's not going to favor them. They keep
is that what you think?
No, that's how I see it. Because if eventually it's going to favor you, you should encourage. If you want to favor the economy, it should be Nigerian first. You encourage those guys.
But some of these people, they are actually known for vandalizing these
that is the thing. That if they should call them, because for them to assemble a plant like that locally and now bring a product that the diesel, because just a crude oil alone can bring a lot of products.
Absolutely.
Now if they can bring up, well, how did they do it?
Okay. Now you said something earlier, right? My point exactly, that you wouldn't want to fault the federal government, for example, for importing cars for some of our elective, leaders, right? I would want to make mention of, the brand of cars or the model.
No, let's not mention the brand.
But you said something about the Bend and Select. It is imported and it is cheaper. So that could also exonerate the government, maybe from importing those vehicles as opposed to patronizing the assemblage plants that we have in the east and parts of the country. Because I've equally heard that those cars are really expensive.
Very expensive.
Thank you.
Very expensive.
Okay.
If you happen to add another very again, it is very, very expensive. Because this is where the naira is weakening and gives strength to the dollar. Even this one that you are saying, Bend Down Select, that they are stealing, it strengthens the dollar and weakens the naira. That's just the truth. As long as we are now known to consume and not even produce. We're now more of a consuming nation than a producing nation. Just because of these little ones that are okay. Take for instance, if you go to China, every nook and cranny you enter in China, they are doing something which is boosting their economy, and the government is supporting them. And these things, they end up going out to cheap. I also read an article where they said that, do you know that Nigerians will go to China and tell them what they want on that phone, and eventually they will manufacture it and bring it back.
Okay, so like I said, we don't have the enabling environment here. That's why.
There's no enabling environment for us to do anything.
So even produce
locally.
Talk more of us, patronizing the locally made content. We'll go pay some bills. When we come back, the conversation will continue. This is the General Open Banter. Do join us in a short bit.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Abuja, you're in luck. It's the upgrade promo from my Abuja Home Limited. For their Broadwater estate and plots in Gwagwalada, get 250 square meter for just 700k when you make an outright payment. That's a whopping 81% discount, or go premium with 500 square meters for only 1 million naira. That's 80% of the original price of 5 million naira. With our authentic FCT land document, you have no issues at all. We have a flexible payment plan for up to 12 months for your convenience. Get your land in Broadwater Estate, Paiko, Gwagwalada now, with green environment, accessible roads, power supply, guaranteed security, and lots more. Call or WhatsApp my Abuja Home on 0808 883 7426, 0808 883 7426, or 0808 272 3824, 0808 272 3824. Hurry now, promo ends soon. This opportunity is also open to military personnel. My Abuja Home Limited. Affordable. Live the life.
Eagles 102.3.
Please listen to this announcement. Farag's Borehole. We are competent. We are committed. We simplify borehole for your borehole survey, for your borehole drilling, or any of your borehole challenges. Call us on 0803 596 5170. 0803 596 5170. You can visit at Goshen Plaza, opposite Jabi Model Park, Abuja. For advert placement and program sponsorship on Eagles 102.3 FM, please call 08059198658. That is 08059198658 or 08157917278. Again, 08157917278.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
All right, we're back. Thank you so much for staying with us. If you are just joining us, this is the General Open Banter live on Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja. And the question we're asking on the General Open Banter is, do you patronize made in Nigeria product? Yes, made in Nigeria goods. How often do you patronize or even buy these goods? Is it that you don't really trust the genuineness of these products, or you think, oh, they would always be substandard because of just the way we are as a people? I mean, we've seen it's very typical of a particular region, and I'm not going to mention the name. When you see something that is substandard, they are quick to, point fingers at the boys, the big boys from that region, like, this should be, it starts with A, but I'm not going to complete it. So it will look like I'm trying to make a storm in a teacup. But at the end of the day, what exactly could be your reason? Is it that these things that are produced locally, they are not up to standard, and that's why you would rather maybe place an order and have the thing imported into Nigeria at the expense of our naira?
Can you remember when there was a ban on imported rice?
What was it really?
So that's what eventually happened
when the borders were actually shut.
So what happened?
So we had to revert to growing the rice locally, which ended up becoming very, very expensive.
Then what happened? Very expensive.
Very extremely expensive.
Now that's the thing. So you see, there are so many angles to all this. But I believe that if there is a will, there is a way. There's this willpower, there's this policy that the government needs to stamp their feet on.
Must everything be about policy?
There must be somebody that is checkmating all these. That's the truth. Because whether I like it or not, to a point, instead of even giving those rice out, those foreign rice, they're finding their ways into.
We still have the foreign rice in the country.
Of course, we still do, because it's still them at the end of affairs that still import this same rice.
Okay, now let me tell you something. Gari is actually produced
locally.
But have you noticed that the gari being sold in some part of Abuja, it is nothing to go by? If you're not observant, if you're not careful enough, you might just end up consuming what is going to be harmful to your health and your body in the long run. The day you don't see nylon, the day you don't see rope, you see paper. As though they I don't know if these gari sellers, I don't know if they just have to maybe mix the gari with sand just to make it plenty. I just don't understand.
Or probably they are quick to make it quickly so that it will get out of their hands.
I feel very scared consuming gari right here in Abuja. If the gari is not sent to me all the way from Delta, then I'm not going to eat gari. The same thing with fufu. Do you know there's a way we can package fufu and export it?
Sorry, let me ask you this question for the gari. When did you notice this?
It's been quite some time now.
Now you can imagine how the economy is and how production will now be, because everybody wants proper, because everybody wants to make gain. The movement, transportation, cost of production, and every other thing. The economy is not even friendly. Even the foreign product, if you don't take time, most things will even start expiring in the store, and they might end up want to give it out as giveaways.
Now let's revert to the rice. Let us grow the naira. Consume Nigerian rice. It is sweeter. It is richer. It is more nutritious and all of that. And this is not to demarket the foreign rice that we've enjoyed for decades.
We're not.
But do you also understand that when you go to the market and you say, I want to buy the local rice, as a patriotic Nigerian that you are, and you tell them, I want the stone-free Nigerian local rice.
You are telling them, okay.
Sometimes you don't even have to tell them. They will personally tell you, is it the stone-free rice you want, or the one that has a little, that has little stones? You say, no, I want the stone-free local rice. But when you get home, Mr. Vic,
you will find stone inside.
So we
and even now, the imported rice will even make wave more because of the insecurity. who will want to go to farm, to go and farm, with the headers and the other ones clashing, headers and farmers clashing, who will go to farm? So you can imagine those now importing rice making more money with the dollar still rising. So I think this whole thing is there's a twist and a connection to everything.
Okay.
Insecurity, food, insecurity, the economy, the dollar rising, the naira losing its value. Where's 5 naira today? Where's 10 naira today?
Where's 100 naira
Where's
today,
100
Mr.
naira
Vic?
today? I was thinking of someone. I said, now we cannot even, today, this morning, I said, now we can't even buy 100 something with 100 naira. Even to enter a short distance, you cannot enter it anymore. 100 naira.
If you even get it for 100 naira, you have to beg for it.
Now everything still boils down to the government.
Okay.
In as much as we have our own rules to play, it is what the rules, the policies that are on ground, that this probably marketers or those involved in this business will follow.
Dear listener, would like you to call in to share your 2 cents on what we're talking about on the General Open Banter. Let us banter on this without reservations, please. As a Nigerian, as a citizen, a proud one at that, except you're not proud to be Nigerian, but if you're proudly Nigerian and you don't patronize made in Nigeria product, we're just wondering at this point in time, what could be the reason? Please talk to us without reservations.
And please, if they can provide solutions also,
absolutely. Let's hear from the scholar. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning to you.
Good morning. My name is GB.
GB from Live Camp.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, thank you. I missed your calls earlier. Apologies, okay?
Okay, no problem. No problem. This is an important discussion, and it should bother us as a Nigerians, that we patronize more imported items than local. I only patronize anything imported if there's no alternative good enough locally. Like today, myself and my wife we don't really agree when it comes to rice. My wife will say Indian rice. India say, what is Indian rice? There are made in Nigerian rice that are better than this Indian rice, and they are cheaper. Why going for Indian rice? It's when I go to market myself that I buy in Nigerian made. But for my wife, I purchase with Indian rice. I think that is not good for us. That is not patriotism. Because I've not seen anything. If you put the two rice together, you see that the Nigerian made rice is better. The one thing is that people, when they say locally made rice, people see locally made rice in Nigeria as those one with stone. Those locally, something. No. There are made in Nigeria rice that are well packaged, fine, parboiled, and fine. So it is for us to know and to appreciate what we have. That is one thing. And then the other areas, I deal on IT. There's nothing in this Nigeria that they produce on IT locally. So I always exchange my dollar, buy my dollar to import those IT or whatever equipment. But when it comes to blessing also, our people today, if you don't know, they will put label or foreign label on locally made garments.
They are bad boys.
I don't know if you have noticed that.
Yes, of course.
They put a foreign label for locally made, and they feel as if you are buying imported garments like all these something. But it's locally made. Go to the market, you see all those shirts, all those men dress. Many of them are done in Aba and the rest, but they will put this a foreign label on it. I think we are buying foreign shirts.
All right.
So I think we should be proud of who we are to put our own label so that we can promote the quality and of our product.
Okay.
That's one thing that is not that I don't accept. Why you put something locally and go and put a foreign label on it?
Okay.
Thank you. That's not patriotism.
Thank you very much.
People don't like having in Nigeria. There are some things that are produced in Nigeria that have them quality, that compete favorably with some imported ones. There are people who prefer to put a label of imported label on it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, GB, for your contribution right there. 09073530044 or 09087668888 are the numbers to call. You can send a voice note or a message to the WhatsApp portal number on 090970544 and 50. Now, a federal government agency, that's the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, has decried the low patronage of Nigerian-made products by Nigerians. Now, the agency identified some challenges leading to the low patronage of a low product as affordability and public perception, among others. The affordability is very, very important. I mean,
both of them even go. Apart from the affordability, he made mention of public acceptance, perception rather.
Right
now, look at the clothes. The GB talked about patronizing those clothes and putting foreign label.
Tag or label
now
on.
Because they know that Nigerians will not buy locally made clothes. That is one.
Okay.
Secondly, it should be an avenue for you to think outside the box, that if they don't get it here in Nigeria, you can still do your own label, your own brand. That should be your own brand. You can also export it.
Do you think it will get the warmest reception if exported out?
You can, those who started exporting theirs, they started from somewhere.
Should we even blame our celebrities, our influencers, for promoting some of these foreign goods too much? Because on YouTube space has been infiltrated. I mean, from one vlogger, from one lifestyle content creator. Oh, I got this from this. I got this from that.
They are paid for it. They paid them to do that.
They pay for it. So
yes,
are you not saying that the local content
should also
producers
do same? Should also do same. Should also pay these bloggers or vloggers and influencers to do same for them. You don't just pick up somebody's product and go social media or YouTube and start talking. They are paid for it, so they should do same. There's marketing strategy. There's a strategy you have to use if you want to get your thing out there. Because if you put your label on, okay, I remember I was trying to do my website. I was looking at it. Should I use .com or should I use .ng? And I had this mindset that .com is commercial, .ng is Nigeria, just like you have .uk, .car, Canada, and so on like that. But commercial, that .com, everybody knows what .com is. So many people are familiar with .com, and that was how it all started. But I realized that when we got talking, the person, no, don't use .com, use .ng. Because it will show that this is yours and this is where you are coming from,
Nigeria.
And I was even using a short phrase which is even cool. And eventually I sat down, I thought of it, I thought holistically about it, and I ended up using .ng. And I'm not regretting. So it's that mindset, that perception of using .com. So if you know that this is your product, you should be proud of where you are coming from. It's not all about the money. The money is very important, but by the time you build that brand, then the money will come.
Well, will it also be, intelligent to think that most of the time, I mean, our celebrities, because whether we like it or not, we look up to them to export, our craft to the global, stage. And maybe when they wear some of these local, locally made products, maybe wares, they don't really stand out internationally, and that is perhaps the reason why some Nigerians have their reservations that, come on, even at the global stage, we're not really recognized. These are, craft has not really gotten the warmest reception. So what's the point of patronizing?
If your product is good and the celebrity sees that it is good, he has no choice to do it. Are we bringing up the right product to sell out? Apart from the PR, apart from the publicity, are we doing the right? Are we bringing out the right products that want to sell out or export?
So for the foreign products that have somewhat dominated the market space in Nigeria, are you saying that they are just, in fact, beyond, standard, and that's the reason why they are thriving?
I think they have done well. If you have a good product,
you don't think it's just the PR?
The product, the PR will be good. Take for instance now, let me come straight to sports, what I know how to do best. You have the NFF, the Nigerian Football Federation, sign contracts with all of these big companies that I don't want to call now, about the country. We have them all out. It is what they have done, it's what they have produced that will eventually see if you can pick any of this. Either you say, okay, no, I don't want this, or I want this. We sign a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years or 10 years contract, and their job is to be supplying the national team with these jerseys. They do that for jerseys, they do that for the hose, they do that for the footwear they are wearing. So if your product is good over time, and mind you, for that same product, they will go through research over the years, you still see them improving on the same product. The brand of cars we are using today is not the same thing that we are using many years ago, because they've improved on it over time. We used to have this other one that is here, it's assembled in Nigeria. We used to know them those days. If you're a fan, you know what I'm talking about. 504, 404, and so on like that. I don't want to call the name of the product. You will see that what they are those days, it's not now. We don't even have some of the products again in the market. So by the time you come up with a product, over time, you use it. Where's Nokia now? That's it. Let me just use that as an example. If you're going to the telecoms. But meanwhile, there are some Nigerians that are doing well in fashion. That their stuff still goes out there. So I think it's beckoning us as individuals to bring out the best.
Okay.
Then from there, PR and advertising will now come in.
All right. Man Austin from Patronise Sarawak says, we underrate and look down on our products. We refer to them as inferior and label them above made. To say the truth, some of our products are above standard. Not below standard now.
Above standard, yes.
This is from Man Austin from Patronise Sarawak. Thank you so much.
They are above standard, but they are still using the brand of or probably the brand of a foreign company.
Okay.
James
from Suleja says, good morning, Vicky V. And FA for short. This is James from Suleja. The problem is we like to pretend a lot in this country. People pay for what they can afford based on their purchasing power and preferences. Where was the agency when the National Assembly chose to buy Toyota vehicles for members of the National Assembly? Where was the agency when the president had to travel to France to rest? It was a working visit, James, and reflect on his governance so far. Where was the agency when the political class chose to go abroad for medicals? No one should gaslight Nigerians, I beg. Can the agency confidently tell us they use Xerox computers, in their offices?
Where is he today?
The person claiming he purchased local rice, he does that because that's what he can afford. Nigerians, they have reservations about local rice because of the poor processing, which we must commend how far they've come by improving, in that regard. James from Suleja, thanks for that message. Okay.
Everything still boils down to the individual, the business, before we now start patronizing others.
But these pieces we have here, made in Nigeria?
Yeah, they didn't make them in Nigeria. These are not Nigerian made. True, he mentioned the name of actually a company. I don't know actually mean, but you actually mentioned it. Where are they today?
No, I actually quoted him.
Okay, good. Where are they today? I remember then when that same computer many years ago we were supplying to schools.
That's the Xerox.
Yes, they were supplying to schools. There was this partnership with a bank, and they were supplying to schools. If that business was actually encouraged, you would have known how far it would have gone now, and others will give them a run for their money. So we as a whole, and funny enough, as if once you want to go into this thing, maybe let me try to let me sound like a Nigerian now, even as well I'm a Nigerian. So I want to bring their bad belly into it. So I want to bring policies to bring it down. So I want to do one or two things for the business to thrive. A lot of taxes will now come in. This is just the bad belly aspect of it. Now, not you even bringing up a good product. Just like what Austin said.
Right.
They are above standard. But they are afraid. They don't know how the environment, the public will accept the business. They now go and put it made in.
So at the end of the day, do you think that maybe some sort of sensitization or reawakening would maybe change our perceptions and notions about made in Nigerian product? Because in China, I've never been there, right?
But we're talking to heard and see.
What I've heard and seen is more like even Oh, everything.
The environment,
air, even the air they breathe is made in China.
The environment is okay for business. Now check out power. We don't even have power, which is supposed to be the bedrock, the foundation to any business. And Aso Rock or Aso Villa have decided to get their own substation, which is now cutting themselves from the national grid. You're your own. So for everyone who will be going into business, will be thinking of getting a solar.
No, that's not to say Nigerians are on their own. According to them, they are doing that because it's in accordance with international best practices.
It is not today. It is not 10 years ago. It is not 20 years ago. Every Nigerian is a local government chairman. Every Nigerian is a local government chairman. The only difference is that they are not elected into office. Now, what am I saying? You provide your security. You dig borehole in your house. You get how would I call it? You dig borehole in your house. You get solar. You buy generator. Before solar, there was generator. You provide everything for yourself. So you are already a local government chairman in your own vicinity without being elected into office. So it has been happening for a very long time and not today. So I feel that if the environment is okay, if it's conducive, if policies are truly put in place. I was trying to say something about a lady I met. I was telling UD yesterday. She's into fabrics. Now she's from North Central. She had to go to the Southwest to get these materials down. And she has been doing a lot of tie-dye.
Okay.
A lot of she has been doing, and she's moving.
The adire.
Exactly.
Right.
Now she now did an exhibition. I think where the art and culture. She was now brought in. I think they admired what she did.
I think the adire especially has been able to gain that international relevance.
Good.
Right.
I now suggested to her, if you have made contact to this place, write a proposal to the National Assembly in such a way that they will make a particular day or make this particular material of yours, if it is good, to be a national wear, just like what we have in Ghana.
No. It's going to okay.
Just like what we have in Ghana.
We're not there yet, Mr.
Good.
Vic.
That's what I'm saying. I said I'm going somewhere.
All right.
Which one we have in Ghana. Then from there, they can put in such a way that even the National Assembly can be wearing this your own material.
No, we should just get a material that has the green and white.
Which is still possible. Which is still possible. Then you encourage people to wear it, but make sure that it's going to be of good quality and good standard.
Agreed. I agree with you. Encourage people to wear it beyond purchasing it.
But it must be a good standard.
Using it. Okay, I'm not even really concerned about a good standard now. But if we must have a national
wear or
attire, it's going to be a step in the right direction. But like I said, we're not there yet, because that's when people from different regions and tribes will start, coming up with.
That is why
excuses.
They said.
And also,
no,
Mr. Vic, we have the green, white, green flag that people are supposed to, flaunt or fly. Not only on October 1, but even during October 1 now in the country, how many vehicles do you see them flying the flag? How many bikes? How many tricycles?
Let's see.
But what we see now is just posters of political gladiators belonging to different parties.
If you make it a national, because why I'm hitting the word national, when the Super Eagles of Nigeria or any national team, not only football now, even athletes, those involved weightlifting, the athletes on the track and field, what do they wear? Is it not the same green and white?
That's about the only thing that unites us.
That's what I'm saying. Then you now make it a national thing and encourage the before you know anything. Somebody will be supplying these tailors. Somebody will be working. There will be a factory that will produce it.
The NYC uniforms now, for example.
No,
let's go there now.
Okay.
Let's go there.
Okay.
When you were in camp, I don't know the quality of the khaki you wore. Do you understand? But
with what you're seeing now,
my time in camp, how many camp members will go into camp during the orientation course, get that NYC khaki, as it is called, and then serve the whole year wearing that khaki? Most of them would rather go out there, get a more solid,
and sew the same thing.
Exactly.
That's what we are saying. That's why you see in the military. Nobody sews the Nigerian military or the uniform except those in the army. Somebody supplies them. Somebody should do same. There should be it's just that the way corruption has really thrived and entered into it. Because whether you like it or not,
But you know, when
somebody in the
when you
NYSC
say, when you say
office,
someone should do same, or someone has to be, saddled with the responsibility of, sewing those uniforms, you're just trying to monopolize the market.
for a national, for something that has to do with national, for the government, you should monopolize the market. That's why you shouldn't have uniform of somebody else wearing the national.
Because why do we have marketers everywhere? Why do we have Dangote refinery?
I'm making reference to the military.
No, that's actually like a national asset or
But-
something. But even the oil too. Because we were here when people were lamenting, why are you trying to monopolize the market? Give Dangote an enabling environment.
That is totally
Give other
different.
marketers. No, it's not different.
It's different.
It's not.
It's different. You
It
have
is
to
not.
think of it. It's different. If it's different, because one, somebody must supply that material. If you have 3 or 4 places it is being produced, encourage them. If people just look at it and look at the CBT, the jam that is going on. Now, JAM has been able to take all these things out and give it to CBT centers. Schools that want to do the CBT will go and register with JAM. And before you know it, it is easy. It is going to a point that we don't have to wait for Saturday to write JAM. You can write JAM on a Wednesday. You can write JAM on a Thursday.
But
you can write JAM on Saturday.
the process of getting your center approved is quite Herculean. You know
It
that.
is still a work in progress because JAM is still working on that particular one because it just started. But all I can tell you now is that you could see centers. Everybody, you don't have to wait for Saturday to write JAM. You can just go there and less than an hour or two, you're done. Another set comes in. Go to National Open University. Look at what they are doing there. When you want to write your exam, for the first 2 years, you have those that are writing the CBT. Then the other two, the third year and the fourth year, they are writing those on paper. By the time you go there, if the timetable says exam starts by 8 o'clock, by the time you go there, you see people coming in at 7:30 to write their own exam. Why?
Holding forth.
Because no, I'm coming. Because you go there, you put your number, and you write your exam. And once you're done, if you're not finished with less than 1 hour, the system logs you out. Another set comes in. There's a way you keep working on this until you get a result.
Okay. Well, dear listener, the truth is we've been able to touch on different issues in less than how many minutes?
Still concerning
locally made content, right? At the end of the day, you have your reservations, but we were only trying to maybe help you change, your school of thought or your perception about, made in Nigerian products and why it's important for you to patronize the made in Nigerian products, more often, because the Naira is actually suffering at this point in time.
Suffering.
Whether we like it or not. Right here in Nigeria, we understand there are schools who are transacting in dollars, not even Naira.
You call schools.
And these
there are
schools
some shops
in
you
Nigeria.
go to. You go to shops, some shops or supermarkets here in Nigeria. You pay in dollars. So not even schools. This is what we are talking about. Now, one thing about when you don't patronize this product here in Nigeria, the Naira weakens and the dollar gets another man money they get for your own country. That's the thing. You pay these things in dollars.
All right. Well, we have a long way to go, and I don't think that myself and Mr. Vic have been able to reach a point of departure on this show. And the truth is, we cannot go any further. But please, the conversation continues on YouTube and Facebook. And we've actually decided to leave you with a question. Think about it. All right? You can even lose sleep over it, no problem. That's how serious the situation is.
But you should almost, if you see one thing, you probably know this. One person cannot change this. Even if you let them sleep over it and think of it, they can do their practical best by just going to the market and said, okay, let me know this. That's the only way you can do.
Now,
that means one person will have to do a campaign for this, tell this person before it's spreads around. That's why we do our own best.
We're already campaigning right here. To the vendors, to those that are actually, producing these things locally, please take it upon yourselves that it is human beings that are going to be consuming your products. All right, so try your best as much as you can. Those that are processing gari, I don't know, people that sell gari in Abuja, I don't know where you buy your gari from, but if you know you are guilty of this, you're probably at the market now selling, and your gari, the gari in that bowl you are selling, it has dirt, nylon, rope, paper, sand, what have you. Come come on now. Oh, the economy is hard. The economy is hard does not mean we should now eat what will now be harmful to our health at the end of the day.
Now, when you're mentioning this product, Gary, and every other thing, most of us export these things. We export
and
it.
we package them.
And we package them
perfectly.
Perfectly. Before you even get them, some of them will get spoiled before you get them. Now, there's something I want to say to all the business owners that are out there. You are doing this business. It is you. Do the best in it. Because now, the world is a global village that you can go even online and advertise it, and somebody that is elsewhere will say, okay, please, can you send this thing down to me? You are exporting your business. You will get it in dollar and transact in naira.
And in order for us not to demonize the system even further than it has already been demonized, let us ensure that we produce standard goods and products. Because what we're doing right now, you see why I'm laying emphasis on this, Gary, because I've had a fair share, and it is mind-boggling, Mr. Vic. I'm not going to lie to you. So if there is a foreigner listening to this conversation now, he or she will just conclude, can anything good come out of Nigeria? But you won't blame me. I'm just sharing my own feedback from the Gary that I've actually purchased and consumed right here in Abuja. So when some of us in Delta and Agbo were bragging that no, Delta Gary is the best, or people in Ijebu, they are saying no, Ijebu Gary is the best. You don't blame them.
You don't blame them.
You don't blame them because they take their time.
I like Ijebu Gary.
Oh, you like
Ijebu?
it?
I love Ijebu Gary. Then for the Delta Gary, I use it for swallow. So when I used to stone somebody,
exactly,
the person will know that yes, Gary has touched the
It's very thick. Just like when we have adulterated palm oil.
That is the thing.
And the original palm oil.
Have you also noticed that the high rate of cancer in Nigeria has increased? Have you noticed that also? Because of what we consume.
All right. This is the last message I'm going to be squeezing in from James. He says, do you know that as basic as our international passport and currency are produced abroad? Like, do you know as basic as our international passport and currency, they are produced abroad? Our currency produced abroad?
What happens to printing and minting?
I'm going to differ on that. The truth is that these politicians and leaders are the ones causing the pressure on the naira. How much does the average Nigerian spend on foreign products compared to what the political class expend? There are schools here in Asokoro, Maitama that accept payment in foreign currencies. ESTA code for foreign trips are paid in foreign currencies. Contracts here in Nigeria are awarded in foreign currencies, and government transactions are done in foreign currencies. Why won't the naira keep falling? Don't let any government agency or supporter gaslight you into believing the masses are not patronizing local products and they are not patriotic.
You see why I said everything still falls in the corridors of government.
Okay. All right. It takes a lot to be part of the government.
Toothpick, imported. Pencil, imported. Should we go on? There's more to it. And people now see it to be a thriving business that they want to also go into it and do it. You ship cars into the country day in, day out. Phones, everything is being shipped in.
Hair, clothes, even food.
Wristwatch, pressing iron, second new.
Cosmetics.
Everything is being imported.
Drugs.
Whether we like it or not, the dollar, with what we are doing, will only be going up and fluctuating, but it will still continue to gain more power.
Now, there are concerns that with the U.S. government blocking this malaria, funding, right? I mean, a number of states are going to be counting, numbers of people who are actually sick of malaria without aid, to tend to their needs and what have you. Okay, should we now resort to producing or manufacturing malaria vaccines or even drugs locally? Some Nigerians will be quick to say, no, I cannot take this, because it's possible this thing was not processed properly. Let me not come and take what will harm me and what have you.
I remember those days, my mom would do agbo.
Mr. Vic.
The only thing, wait, I'm going there. The only thing is that we don't know what we are consuming in terms of the amount of components of those things. That's where the problem is.
Okay, so are you now by commission or omission saying that we should revert to agbo?
See, my dear, the truth of it is that There's some things I don't want to talk here on air, especially when I know that my body is doing meow meow in terms of trying to fall sick and other things like that. I know what to take. Even these same mosquito nets, most of them are being imported. Mosquito nets are not made in Nigeria; they are still imported. And once they import it, they take it to this public health and they give it to people for free. I say sleep under the mosquito. Most of these things will not even be available again. So, I know myself. I know once I'm feeling like this, I know what to take. So, in terms of that, you don't want me to mention it. That's the only thing people will resolve to, because even the drugs are even very expensive.
Right.
The drugs are imported.
A portion of agbo is not expensive. A shot.
That one is
that's made in Nigeria.
That one is made in agbo jetty. That one is made in Nigeria. And there's
but I won't encourage anyone.
No. I'm only speaking for myself.
Right.
I'm not encouraging because we don't know the constituent or the amount of constituents to take. That's why the orthodox medicine they'll say take this one. It contains this. Take this 2 times in a day, and you have to religiously and spiritually follow it before you take it, and you get well. But you see the other one. When you take, we don't know the constituent, but when you take small cup and you're better, then you try to prevent yourself from the malaria.
Okay, Mr. Vic.
I don't want to go to the studio.
We can go on and on with this conversation, and best believe it will continue till next year.
We will not leave the studio.
Absolutely.
I remember then presidential candidate, everyone knows him, was talking about he will take Nigeria from a consuming nation to a producing nation. I'm not campaigning for him, the election has not even come, but that is what we need.
Okay.
I want to start making my own canvas, so people should come and produce the video.
Mr. Solomon will send an invoice to
you. Let him say no.
No, but honestly,
we need to produce. We need to get. We need to start our own. We're campaigning already.
Right.
But the super, if they're going to do national team, they go on. I remember someone who came out to launch his own apparel. A Nigerian. Oh, but na lie. There are people inside who will sabotage you. And
who
make sure that who are you?
Yeah.
And you must go and grease their palm if you want your product to
you need to know someone that knows someone.
That's the thing, that knows someone else. But
right.
you can start from small.
Absolutely.
Go to all these little clubs that are in the local side and sell those jerseys to them at a cheaper rate.
Okay, so if you actually have such dreams and even aspirations, you can just reach out to Vic, and maybe he would give that business some sort of mileage on the sports show, Sports on Eagles Wings.
Not even on the sports show.
Not only on sports show anyway. Right.
I don't know.
In fact, I think Eagles FM has actually taken it upon itself to encourage small and medium-scale businesses to thrive. And this trend started since last year, if I'm not mistaken, where you can come on here to talk about your business, your brand, for just 30,000 naira.
Entrepreneur.
Exactly 30 minutes.
30 minutes
airtime
to talk about your business and your brand.
And we have an audio-visual radio experience that you can always count on. So why are you sleeping on this offer? I can't even stress it enough. So if you are a vendor, you are a local manufacturer, and you think that your business or your brand hasn't really gotten that, visibility, that mileage that it needs to thrive and get recognition internationally, I'm sure you're aware that there are over 25 countries listening to Eagles FM. So this is just a sign you need. Wake up from your slumber, come on here, pay shikini money, just 30,000 naira.
You know, somebody ordered for dates, tiger nuts, coconuts, and what from here, and they had to ship it down to the US. Dates, the one we know as debino. Tiger nuts, the one we know as aya. Coconuts, because of
we know that one as
kwakwa, they had to send it out. And you think that in this global village that we are in, somebody will not recognize your business out there? Come on. If you keep looking that the economy is no good, be part of those that can also take part of that same, because nowadays we need multiple sources of income.
Exactly.
to come in. Now we are now moving from consumption to production.
Right.
And you are part of the economy.
And you know, of course, that the influencers we have on social media, you are going to see, you are going to pay. They will pay. You will pay through your notes.
But so you will make money out of it.
You will make money, but at the end of the day, no. But Mr. Vic, realistically, the charges from these influencers, they're outrageous.
Yes.
And again, we cannot stress this enough. Come on here, let us talk business. Shikini money, 30,000 naira. I'm not sure that's going to be a tall order for you. Because you're an entrepreneur, you know best.
And you even get more. You even get more insights apart from you coming to talk about it on air.
Exactly.
You behind the camera, behind the mic, we tell you what to do to make this business. And don't sit down there. No matter what you think that you are doing, you never. Even if organizer too can even come and talk about it.
Absolutely.
And you don't need to. They can even call you home service for organizer.
You have a point.
Oyana, come to my house. So. But make sure you scrutinize and organizer very well. You never can tell how Nigerian system is.
Dear listener, we just have to leave the conversation here. We already overshot the time, right? So we're sure that you had a great time listening and you've been able to learn a thing or two. And for the partnership or inquiries, I'm going to be playing a voice, a recording to that effect. So you come on here, meet with our marketing executives and team, and they would help you navigate. And I tell you, without mincing words, because the testimonies are everywhere. Really, people that have come on here to advertise, to promote their businesses. They're already counting their gains. Don't sit back and count losses. This is 2025. And money must be made. I am Omo of a piece of Semere.
And they still call me the sport minister on radio, small.